Algebraic expressions are made up of variables and constants. A variable is a letter or a symbol used to represent something that can change, like x or y, or we could use a triangle. By contrast, a constant is something that never changes, like a number, like 7 is a constant, or 52. It's possible that variables might have different exponents, so x could be x to the third power. It could be y to the fifth power. When we create an expression, it requires an operation. For addition, we'll write something like x plus 3, or m squared plus 7. For subtraction, we'll start with a variable like q minus 2, and it could be something like q to the third minus 47. We can also add together other variables like x plus y or q minus r. All of these are called algebraic expressions. They are made up of variables and constants with one of these operations. What does multiplication look like? That can be as simple as 7x. It can be more like 7 times the quantity x plus 3. Division can look different, have some different looks. We can say 7 divided by x, or we can write the same thing as a fraction, 7 over x. The fraction bar means division. To write these expressions in words, you can do it a couple different ways. You could say 9 more than r, 9 plus r, the sum of 9 and r. 3 less than x, x minus 3, the sum of x and negative 3. We can write 7 times m, the product of 7 and m, and some other words in story problems that give us a clue that we're probably multiplying are words like per, the cost per ruler, the price each day, the cost for every plant. Just a few examples. For division, we could write this as, or say this as, y divided by 6, or the quotient of y and 6. Generally, on the quiz, you'll have to do things in this order. You'll be given the words, and you have to write the expressions and sometimes solve them. So if you see 62 per minute, that's a clue that we are multiplying. Let's say we used m as our variable. Every minute that passes, we multiply by 62 words. 4 years older implies we are adding, so you could say that r is equal to e plus 4. E represents Emily's age, and Roberto is 4 years older. If Joey earns $5 for each car he washes, you could write that as 5x, where x is the number of cars. And if he earned d dollars, this is our equation. If you wanted to find out how many cars, you would just take and divide both sides by 5 to solve for that variable x. And your answer would be that x is equal to whatever d is divided by 5. This is what the quiz on algebraic expressions will look like, around 7 questions. Writing expressions requires paying attention to the numbers and the variables and some of the key words that tell you if you should be adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. If we spent $1,500 on all of the calculators, how can we find the cost of one? Well, you take the total cost divided by how many? This word quotient means that we are dividing. 4 goes on top and n goes on bottom. You could also write this as 4 divided by n, but usually we'll write it as a fraction. The word each here implies that we are multiplying. So we have n video games, and each game costs $16, so 16n. Sum means that we're adding things together. So here we are adding the square of x and 5. The square of x is written like this, and we add that to 5 because of the word sum. If the number of employees was decreased by 22, that represents subtraction. So we had some original population, we lost 22, and now we have 85. If you just wrote this, though, that's not the final answer. We have to actually add 22 to both sides to find that original population. So P here is 107. We're representing the product, so that means multiplication, and we are multiplying 3 and the sum of 8 and n. So that looks like this. Now we need to take this a step further and evaluate if n is equal to 3. So we can plug in a 3 for n. And our new equation reads 3 times 8 plus 3. So 8 plus 3 is 11. Then you multiply by 3, and you get an answer of 33.